Get this straight, Capwell. You ain't never coming back. You...
Who were you talking to?
Well, you called me. I was, thinking about grief and what Iden and Cruz must be going through right now, and, a line from Shakespeare just sort of popped into my head. I guess I was reciting it out loud without really knowing it.
What was it?
You mean the exact words?
Well, you're always so good at keeping those kind of things in your head. I don't know how you do it, but you always do. You have an exact quote for every occasion.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a very good one.
I'd love to hear it, really. It's hard to find the words at a time like this. Was it from a play or a sonnet?
Richard II. My grief lies all within, and these external manners of lament are merely shadows to the unseen grief that swells with silence in the tortured souls.
That's very good. And it's also very true.
I know.
But that's not what you were saying when I walked in.
What do you mean?
You weren't reciting Shakespeare, Mason. You were saying something that sounded very common to me.
Well, there she is. Mind if I hold her? That's what I'm here for. Hi there. How are you? Do you have any idea how lucky we are to have each other? I will never forget how precious you are. Thanks for understanding why I needed to see her today.
You can stay if you like for a little while.
No, that's all right. I don't want to take advantage of her kindness. Maybe I'll come back for another visit in a couple of days.
We'll talk about it.
Thanks. Goodbye. Adios, Augusta.
So what do you think? Is he nuts or am I?
What about the double check on the blood type? No, I wasn't expecting it to be any different. I guess I'm trying to hang on to something, you know, it's, I'll tell her, yeah. It's gonna be tomorrow. We'll have some kind of small service. I don't think there's a time yet. Somebody will let you know. Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks. That was Boswell. He, said to tell you that he, well, whatever the hell it is, you know what he wants to say.
People are very kind.
Yeah, they say all the right things, and we say the right things back. It's this whole automatic code of responses, so nobody has to think about what really happened, because God forbid you should think about it. Then you might have to wonder how it is we can just talk. How it is we can even breathe.
It is so sad that you still cannot accept the depth to which this man has mutilated you emotionally. Mason didn't do it, so you're looking for a reason to absolve him. He wasn't the one that hurt you. Some cad temporarily co-opted his psyche.
Multiple personality is a legitimate disorder.
Don't you realize that Mason is behind this? Bunny came as an emissary to plant the seeds of forgiveness, and you're letting it happen.
You saw him? He was wearing a cowboy suit. Now, I wouldn't give that theory a second thought if it wasn't a perfect explanation. It's not his drinking or his loss of memory. This may explain the whole thing, and I'm damn well not going to ignore it. Oh. All right. Time for lunch. Samantha. Come on, sweetie. Oh.
Hi. Is Julia here?
She's feeding Samantha in the kitchen. I'll come on in.
Did Julia hear about Cruz Meaden's baby?
Yes, she went to the house with Mason. Evidently, Ted called. The whole thing is just so tragic.
Well, I was just going to go over there. I thought maybe she'd want to go along with me, but if she's seen them...
She saw Cruz. I don't think she saw Eden, which is understandable. I'll tell Julia you're here.
Thank you.
Father...
Yeah?
I know this is an odd thing to bring up right now, but this awful thing with the child has made me appreciate the fact that you really have to look after people you love. Would you mind if I confide in you for a moment about Julia?
What is it?
Well, I'm just worried about her.
Why?
Well, someone, obviously egged on by Mason, has put the idea in her head that he has been suffering for... Oh, I
No, go
feel
on,
so
go on,
stupid.
go on. No, come on.
That he has a mental disorder, a split personality, if you can imagine that. And that is supposed to excuse and forgive him for all the terrible, hurtful things he's done.
Julia believes this?
Well, I think it would soothe her to think Mason was not in control of his faculties when he lied and cheated and humiliated her. But we both know that he was painfully aware of what he was doing. He just didn't care.
Well, I can't swear to that.
Well, I can. I've known him longer than you. He's a self-serving swine. Look, it's terrible, but it is not a mental disorder.
Are you sure that Julia is buying psychosis as an explanation?
Well, all you have to do is talk to her to find out. Somebody's got to change her mind. Because if Mason gets her sympathy, it's just going to be a matter of time before he's bored with the game, and he's going to hurt her again. I don't think she can take it a second time.
Poor Cruz. Poor Eden, my God.
I didn't think you'd be this upset.
Well, of course I'm upset. I'm a mother. I mean, Eden had that baby against all odds, and then...
The unseen grief that swells with silence in the tortured soul.
Sonny,
What?
just didn't sound like you.
Yeah, well, you don't sound much like you either. I guess the death of a child brings out different sides of us.
As a matter of fact, it sounded like pure Mason. Are you sure there isn't something you want to tell me?
Like what?
Like, I don't know, like Mason's acting up, something like that.
Acting up.
Yeah, that's right. You promised me that you could keep control of him. Now, have you? Have you
Yeah.
kept control of Mason?
I have kept control.
Okay. Because I have to know that, because I can't go through what I went through before in those old days, when I didn't know who I was going to be dealing with from one moment to the next. There is too much at stake here. I have to know that I can count on you.
You can count on me.
Because when this all settles down, everybody quits mourning. And Cece's going to come after Brandon. And I've got to know that I can turn to Sonny. I've got to know that Sonny is behind me.
I'm behind you, damn it. Stop worrying about it.
Well, I worry because I have to worry. Someone's got to worry. How did you find out about the baby?
Julia came into the bar.
Julia, I should have known.
What?
She was there when you found out about the baby's death, right? And then Julia proceeded to get very emotional, which made you emotional, which made it that much easier for Mason to pop out. How many times do I have to tell you what a bad influence Julia is on you?
It's worse than that. She knows something.
What?
She overheard me and Mason having words.
You're kidding. Tell me you're kidding.
I wish I was.
You mean she overheard the two of you talking to yourselves?
Uh-huh.
Well, did she offer to call up the men with the little white coats and come get them?
I don't know what she's going to do. Probably just keep watching me.
How many times do I have to tell you to stay away from Julia? You know what's going to happen? She's going to take a special interest in your mental health. And that means Mason can resurface permanently. You know what we can do then? You and I can both say adios to Sonny Sprocket for good.
Maybe you should try and get some sleep. Scott left some pills, you know.
No, I don't think the shot he gave me is worn off yet. I feel like I'm on the inside of a tunnel and everybody's calling to me. Have you ever felt that way when you know you're in the same room with all these people and their voices seem so far?
Yeah, I know what that feels like.
Even your voice sounds far away.
I'm right here.
I hate that you have to do this.
Do what?
Go through this with me. I mean, it gives us this bond, but it's a horrible bond. And I feel so far away from you. I hate it. I don't understand it.
It's just a device to protect yourself. You're shutting down because it's an overload of pain, so you disconnect even from the people you love.
No more medicine. Because I want to be with you. I don't want to be far away. If we were going to bring our little girl into this world and it was just going to be the two of us, then if we have to say goodbye to her, God help us, let's share that. Okay?
God help us.
And then they all lived happily ever after. That's rich. Come on. Time for your nap, sweetheart.
No. Auntie Augusta's going to put our girl to bed. You and Michael have some tea. You haven't had a chance to sit down all day. Come here, sweetheart.
Thanks, I think.
And would you give my sympathy to Cruz and Eden?
Yes, I will.
Take your time. Don't rush.
Yes, I know. Let's go have a nice nap.
My sister's been making a lot of tea lately.
Yeah, well, when you get news like we got today, probably just want to take a lot of extra care of people.
Maybe. So, how did Augusta get you to come over here and help her help me?
You know your sister pretty well.
Well, I ought to. It's not the first time that she's embarrassed me to death, so how'd she do it this time?
Well, she's just worried about you. She doesn't want to see you hurt.
Right, and she convinced you to convince me that I shouldn't let the psychology of Mason get in the way and that I'm running around claiming that he is innocent by reason of insanity, right?
Well, she mentioned something about a split personality.
Well, you always thought he was two-faced, so I guess it shouldn't surprise you at all.
I am not going to make fun of this idea.
Good, because it's not very funny.
But you have to understand that when you first hear it, it does sound a little bit dramatic. Split personality is pretty rare. And I'm not dismissing it out of hand, but I would caution you not to apologize for Mason's contradictions.
You don't have to worry. I am not going to embrace this as a whitewash for everything that he's done. I will wait till I get a diagnosis from a doctor before I accept it.
Good.
However, I think that it is a perfectly good explanation for everything that has happened. Do you remember when he came back here and he kept appearing and disappearing and I would attribute it to his drinking?
Yes, but he has a drinking problem. We didn't just imagine that.
Yes, he does have a drinking problem, and he acts strange when he drinks. However, how do you explain the fact that when he's not having a drop, his behavior is just as erratic, even more erratic?
There are many...
Will you let me finish, please, for a minute? I am not doing this to make myself feel any better, all right? I'm doing this because the man is ill. He is seriously ill. And I'm not going to stand by and let him deteriorate.
I understand how you feel. Really, I do.
I'm glad that you do, because I need somebody to understand how I feel.
But will you promise me something? If you're right about Mason, don't try and treat his problems yourself.
Well, thanks for the vote of confidence.
We can't afford to forget the lessons of the past. You get around Julia, and bang, that old black magic comes out. She brings out the Mason in your soul.
Sorry, darling, I don't believe in witchcraft. You're so afraid of Julia putting a hex on me, why don't you do something about it?
Like what? What am I supposed to do?
Marry me.
Oh, Sonny.
Don't oh Sonny me, it's a perfect solution to every problem we got.
How do you figure that?
First of all, if you and me tie the knot, then Julia's gonna drop any idea she's got as far as me turning back into Mason quicker than you can say, here comes the bride. She'll never speak to me again.
I wouldn't be so sure.
Plus, you get your nice stable home for Brandon. Plus, you get the bodacious honor of being Mrs. Sonny Sprocket. How many reasons do you need, girl?
Hi.
Hi.
I was looking for Michael. Heather's been trying to reach him. We have some bad news.
I know.
You do?
Yeah, Michael got a call from Cruz Castillo. He's on his way over there right now.
Oh. Well, I'm sure Michael was very upset. I know that he's been working very closely with Cruz.
Yeah. How are Cruz and Eden doing? I'm sure that they're probably...
Yeah, well, Heather and I were called over, and I gave Eden a sedative, but how do you help somebody who's gone through something like this? I wasn't aware that you knew Cruz and Eden.
I don't really know them. I'm just familiar with the case. Everything that they've been through. It's so unfair.
Yeah. You know, the cruelest part of it is that Cruz had to tell her. I've seen other families who've had to go through the loss of a child, and I've even had to tell them myself, but then at least they're together and they find out from someone else at the same time. I mean, how do you go on with that kind of pain? I mean, how do you go on with your life? I'm sorry.
Why? It's so unfair.
Eden's upstairs?
Yeah, Kelly's with her.
Has she been able to get any sleep?
A little.
How about you?
I'm fine. Like, you might as well sit down and relax for a while. I'm not sure when she's gonna come down. She may not want to see everyone at once, you understand? It's a little difficult.
I understand. Is she still in the nursery?
Yeah, she seems to find it comforting to be around the baby's things. Look, there's tea and coffee and I don't know what else, so just feel free if you need to.
I want to know what we can do for you.
Let me get that.
I'll get it.
Are you all right? And Eden?
She's upstairs. Where's Chip?
This is no place for a little boy today. I left him with my friend, Mrs. Rojas.
Rojas, I don't think I heard you mention her. How long have you known her?
6 months. I met her in the park. She has a nephew about Chip's age, and the boys play together all the time.
Uh-huh. Have you ever left Chip with her before?
Cruz. He's all right. Nothing's going to happen to him.
I know. I'm sorry.
You don't have to say anything.
Come in.
Cece.
Coming.
How are you? Sophia, my dear. I brought some soup and some other things. You can keep it in the refrigerator until you need it, but I think you and Eden should eat something, even if it's the last thing on your mind.
Okay, I'll put it in the refrigerator, thank you.
I thank God I still have all my children. To even think of losing one. How can I give consolation to my son for a sorrow I've never even known?
Carmen, even if you know that sorrow, it's not easy to say the words. There's no more bitter loss, and there's no worse crime against nature than to outlive your own child.
Why does lighting a candle for someone always make you feel better?
I guess it gives you a feeling of hope. Helps you move on.
Hope. I guess everybody will be telling Cruz and Eden they could always have another baby.
Well, I don't know if they're going to be ready to hear that right away. I think it's going to take a lot of courage for them to try again.
It's kind of like falling in love, right? It's a risk, but you just can't spend your whole life alone just because you're afraid to take a chance.
Yeah, that's sort of what I've been trying to tell Heather. This whole thing is just intensified every fear she ever had about having children.
Yeah, let's face it. Having kids is a little scary, even when you don't think about all the bad things that could happen.
It's true. But what about you, Celeste? I mean, have you ever thought about having children?
No.
When you were married, I mean.
No. Kids need roots. Just wasn't in the cards for us. Do you remember when we were young, growing up in our neighborhood, how everybody had such big families? I loved it.
Yeah, I guess that's why I'm so hooked on the idea right now.
I used to babysit the Thompson boys, do you remember? You'd come over, and they'd be trying to tie me up to the kitchen chair and lighting me on fire, and you would walk right in, and you would have those little barbarians eating out of your hand in about 10 minutes. It's what I call being a natural.
Nah, I just always got a kick out of little kids, you know? I don't think that it requires much talent.
Well, it doesn't come as easy to everybody as it does to you, Scotty.
Yeah, I guess I'm beginning to find that out.
Kelly said you didn't want to see anybody just yet. I hope that doesn't mean me.
Of course not. Who's here?
Well, Sophia and Ted came back with your father, and my mother showed up a few minutes ago.
Oh, I guess I should go down and see them.
I don't think you should do anything you don't want to do. I'm sure they'll understand.
Will they? Kelly didn't seem to understand why I needed to spend so many hours in Adriana's nursery. She came in here, she said, oh, Adriana would have loved to have seen this room. I mean, doesn't she understand? Adriana was here with me in this nursery so many times I can't even count. Don't you remember when we went to the doctor's office and we heard her heartbeat for the very first time?
Yeah, I do. I'll never forget that.
I sat here in this rocker and I listened to her heartbeat right along with mine. And it was just she and I. And it was without words. Without sight. It was beautiful.
Dear God in heaven, how could this happen? I don't understand how this could have happened.
You should tell the family to come up. If they want. They loved her too.
I'll tell them. Come on.
Whatever has happened between us, it doesn't take away from how sorry I am right now. And I would do anything if all of you could have her back again.
I have one grandchild left, Julia. So you take care of her. You cherish her with all your heart.
I do.
I just wish that Cruz's brother and sister were here. You know, Ted, at this moment, you may not find anything to be grateful for, but just look around you. You have your family. You can help each other through these dark times.
Well, sometimes I think it's the only time we ever do get together. Why does it have to be a tragedy for us to be together?
Michael, thanks for coming.
How's Eden doing?
She wants to see everyone, and I don't think she's gonna come downstairs, so maybe we, Just to see, you wanna go up first?
Maybe I'll wait.
Why?
Because I don't trust myself to be strong, that's why. I don't want to make it worse.
Cece, I think that the strongest way you can be with Eden is to share your grief. None of us are going to get through this without crying together.
I wouldn't worry right now too much. I mean, if you and Heather aren't seeing eye to eye on kids, that'll work itself out once you're married, I'm sure.
Is this the voice of experience?
Yeah, all of it bad.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I to give advice, right? I mean, come on.
Come on. Was your marriage really that bad?
Bad?
Yeah.
It was far from perfect. Ronnie was away so much. 3/4 of my marriage, so-called marriage, I spent alone. Those were the good times, so.
I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Don't be sorry, it's not your fault. He was just a very frustrated man, kind of like my father, you know. Do you detect a pattern here? Frustration, father? Anyway, I don't know. I'm always hooking myself up with dreamers who are never satisfied.
Like you're any different?
That was my problem. I stopped dreaming. I slept all the time. But that's all I do now, is dream.
Dream about what?
Finding someone special, sharing my life with them. You've got it all. I'm still looking.
You'll find it.
You're leaving. Call us, please, tonight, any time.
Thank you, Mr. C. Well,
I love you.
I love you, too.
Hey, come here. We'll see you later, all right? We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay. All right. If you want to stop by here on your way before you go to the chapel, that would be fine.
I'll tell you what, we'll give you a call and see how you feel in the morning.
I told your mother I'd pick her up to take her to the service.
Yeah, she mentioned that when she was leaving. I appreciate that, Mr. C.
There we go.
Get some rest, huh?
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get out of your way.
Well, there's no rush, you know.
Can I use your phone?
Help yourself.
Thanks.
Well, I guess I was late, huh? You remember what it was like when you were a cop? You'd get the call on the radio, you'd put your foot on the gas, you'd start running red lights, and sometimes you'd get there and there would be a sheet over what used to be a human being. And you'd say to yourself, what the hell was I doing? You know, if only I would have taken a shortcut.
If only it had not been raining. If only I'd been closer to the call. You know, I know all the questions, Cruz, but you did everything.
Well,
everything humanly possible to save your child.
Did I, Michael? I mean, I could have gotten to Zach in the beginning and made him take me to my baby, but I waited.
You could have, but the guy's out of his mind. You were right to be cautious.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess I was cautious, all right. My baby's dead.
Okay, moment of truth. It feels like eating.
I can't even look at this.
Me neither.
I guess it's a good thing we own this restaurant. Most places won't let you take a table unless you're going to order something.
Come on, honey, you can eat something. You can always eat.
You know what I really feel like eating?
What?
Oatmeal. Is that crazy or what?
Oatmeal for dinner?
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I do. I think at times like this, we kind of think about the things that comforted us when we were children, and I used to make you oatmeal every time you had a cold. Oh, please, not now. Please, not now.
Cece, I can't tell you how terrible I feel about what happened to your granddaughter. I wouldn't have had it happen for anything in the world. But maybe somehow, some good can come of it.
Good. Do you know what the hell you are talking about?
When people go through things like this, sometimes it gives you a new perspective, and that's what I'm hoping it does for you.
Ted, get somebody, get her out of here.
Look, Cece, I realize you've just suffered a terrible loss. Don't you understand that if you tear Brandon and I apart, we're going to be going through the same thing? Brandon means more to me than anything else in the whole world. You probably both just came from seeing Eden. Do you really want to put another person through the kind of pain that she's suffering?
How dare you cheapen our tragedy to dramatize your own totally unrelated situation? How dare you?
Don't you understand? It's all related.
Gina, the security guards are going to come and get you. Now, you want to be carried out of here bodily.
All right, I'll go. If the death of your granddaughter didn't bring out your heart, I don't know what would. I guess it just goes to prove what I've always said. The Capwells don't have hearts.
I better get back. I gotta make calls for the memorial service.
Oh, don't be silly. Use my phone.
Thanks. Maybe I can get a hold of the florists before they close.
How were they?
As well as can be expected. Were there any calls?
Oh, there's one on the desk next to the phone.
Is this it, the State Attorney General's office?
That's it. They're sending someone down to question you, Julia.
About what? This isn't about the Capwell evidence being stolen, is it?
The state's Attorney General's office is obviously distressed about the theft.
Why are they questioning you about that? They can't blame you for stealing the evidence.
I am a little too tired and upset to get into this whole thing right now.
I can't imagine anybody working harder on a case in their life. It's absurd for them to think that you could have done anything less than your best.
Thanks for the support.
It's busy. I better get over there in person.
Are you sure you can't stay and have dinner with us?
Thank you, but I really got my work cut out for me. I gotta think of what I'm gonna say at that service tomorrow.
Listen, I'm really glad that we went back there today.
And I'm glad you came with me.
In the midst of all this turmoil, you're still as steady as ever. You give people the feeling that there's something to hold on to. And thanks for listening to me talk about Mason. It helps to have somebody understand.
My mother brought this over today. She said that I should remind you to eat, so.
Thanks. Maybe later.
Okay. Sure is quiet now since everybody left, huh?
Yeah. What?
I'm sorry. I thought I could make it happen. I tried. I tried so hard to bring her back, her little baby. I tried to bring her back. I swear I did the best I could. I just couldn't find her. I couldn't find her, darling. I couldn't.
Don't believe it. I'll leave you alone for 2 minutes while I go into the men's room. I come out, the whole place is in an uproar.
It wasn't like what you think. I expressed my sympathy. I was very sincere, and I
You
really
must have done a lot more than just express sympathy.
Well, I tried to draw the parallels between them losing their granddaughter and me losing Brandon. But did they buy it? No. They wouldn't listen to a word I had to say.
One damn thing has nothing to do with another. Maybe I wasn't able to protect Adriana, but I certainly as hell can protect Brandon. You can bet your life I will.
But you're gonna protect him by stealing him away from me,
The
Cece?
stunt you pulled earlier just about clinched. You're not even a fit human being, let alone a fit mother. And you, I don't believe you at all. We're comforting your sister. You're parading around in public with this tramp.
I went over to see Cruz and Eden as soon as I heard.
What do you want? A good conduct medal? Or is this part of your strategy to appear respectable? Oh, don't bother. I'm going ahead with the custody suit. I'm going to pursue it. You only have yourself to thank.
Oh, well, thanks for the stirring defense.
Well, what do you expect, girl? You go up to him when he's all upset and grieving?
I thought he would be more receptive. Now what am I gonna do?
I told you once today.
What, are you gonna start talking about marriage again?
No, I'm not. This is the last time I'm going to ask you. Now, I'll give you overnight to think about it, but I want to know one way or the other tomorrow morning. See, I got a life of my own, Gina, and plans to make. You let me know if you want to be part of it.
Help me to comfort all those people that are looking to me for comfort. You know, I don't have any answers. I just have my own questions. How do I speak to a parent's pain? I've never had a child. What do I say to Cruz and Eden? Help me find the words. Maybe there'll be a lesson in those words for myself.
What time is it?
It's not quite 6.
This day's lasting 100 years.
Strange that it could get this slow, isn't it?
Yeah. It was like that the night that Adriana was born, you remember?
Was it?
Yeah. I remember when you took her and you laid her next to me. And I remember thinking, my God, I'm just not tired. It was amazing. I was so overwhelmed with joy. I thought I was never going to sleep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. That incredible lightness of her, how tiny and fragile she was. And that little piece of sunshine that you found that day. That was her birthright. Remember that? No one, but no one can take that away. And no one but you can understand it. And no one but you can help me keep it alive even after she's gone. So promise me you will.
For as long as I live, I will. For as long as I live.
Ah, ma petite, que tu es belle.
Oui.
Monsieur et Madame désirent voir le bébé.
Maintenant?
Maintenant.
Bien. Tout de suite.